So I started with broadening our view, broadening our perspective on the broad range of changes that job crafting might entail. We took a second take-home message, briefly focusing on the importance of resources. And thirdly, my third take-home message is focusing on the shared responsibility we all have. We start from an individual perspective on job crafting, but we can enlarge a perspective towards a team perspective, towards the supervisor perspective. So we start from the bottom, but we go to the top in order to take some action. So from an individual point of view, we start with a task analysis. So we start with listing up different tasks we need to tackle, that we need to conduct. In a second step, we are thinking about, okay, what aspects at work are demanding aspects, are demanding energy, and which aspects are providing energy or resourcefulness or resourceful. And thirdly, we might reflect on work on one hand and on who we are on the other hand. What are my needs? What are my strengths? What are my preferences? How do I look at work? What's important for me? What's the meaning I want to give at work? And when you have these three building blocks with task analysis, a focus on job resources, and knowing who you are and where you're going to, you have the most important building blocks to craft and to set up a personal crafting plan. Starting from that individual point of view, it might of course be put that in the broader or in a specific context, because of course you're not an isolated element, you're a part of a broader system. So there it's truly important to not only take that individual perspective, but also to take at the role that supervisors, HR, a career counselor, the organization culture have to play in facilitating beneficial job crafting. It's truly important to install a supportive environment. You can do so by installing the dialogue, by increasing awareness on both crafting possibilities and opportunities. As a supervisor, for example, or as a manager, you can, by installing the dialogue, going or talking about, okay, how things are going, what's going good, what can be better, and which aspects do we need to change in order to install a better way of working for a specific individual at work. And it's by exploring together, and it's by going into that discussion that you can explore and that you can come up with interesting changes fitting your person and your personal needs. So therefore it's important to emphasize that shared responsibility. It's not only the individual who is responsible for his or her functioning. No, it's also the environment that might install resources, support, etc. Not only the step to the supervisory level might be relevant, you might also translate principles of job crafting to the team level, because of course every individual is taking part of a broader system, is being part of a team, for example. Also at the team level, you can work on team development, for example, by means of job crafting principles. When you're talking about team crafting, I'm talking about all the self-initiated changes team members make to their job, to their team functioning, in order to optimize their team functioning in terms of well-being and performance. So the idea is that the team is reflecting on, okay, who are we? What is our important task? What is our aim? What is our important why? And which tasks do we have to conduct as a team? Who are we? Who are the team members? And who is the best person to conduct a specific task? And how can we repuzzling things, for example? So that's crafting on a team, that's crafting on a task level. When you're working with teams, you can craft on different levels. You can craft on a more cognitive level, you can craft the meaning, you can craft the why. That's the first step. Secondly, you can craft on a task-related level. You can look at which task do we need to conduct and who is the best person to conduct that. Thirdly, you can craft on a relational level. How are you behaving? How are you dealing with each others? Or there's some arrangement that you make? When or do you have formal meetings? When are there possibilities for informal contact, etc., etc.? The fourth level is a context related level. You can craft, okay, where do we work? Do we work from home? Which meetings are we conducting in a virtual way, in a digital way? How are we working together? And job crafting principles might help to invest in team development in a positive, proactive way. So when you want to put job crafting into practice, you need a perspective from bottom to top. It starts with an employee perspective. Job crafting is an individual behavior in which employees are making changes to their job in order to optimize their functioning. It's about thinking out of the box to make small changes in the W aspects of work. In order to install beneficial job crafting, I advise to reflect on costs and benefits of job crafting initiatives and also to plan a follow-up in order to being able to doing things differently, to evaluate the things that you did differently. And thirdly, I advise to discover and reinforce your job resources and to really take advantage of the resources you have at hand. On the other hand, another perspective is the employer perspective, the top perspective. There, the important responsibility is that you need a context of work quality, a quality of work, and a traditional job design because it's a fundamental base for job crafting. You need a supportive and resourceful context, a resourceful environment. Therefore, it might be relevant to invest in leadership development. Why? Because supervisors, leaders, managers might play that facilitating and coaching role in helping employees to craft their job and to opt for initiatives for changes that are relevant both for the employee and for the organization and for the team. And thirdly, job crafting might be seen as a form of self-regulation, but no, you have to know that self-regulation is only possible within a regulated and resourceful framework. So it's not an option to let go things. No, it's important to give autonomy, it's important to give some trust, but also to stay committed and involved with what's going on and with the well-being of your employees. To wrap up, I come to the three take-home messages. First of all, we talked about job crafting as thinking out of the box, thinking about small changes you might make in order to make that difference. It starts with reflection, task analysis. Second, we talked about the importance of resources because they are the building blocks towards beneficial job crafting. You need a positive focus in order to install a positive way of working for yourself and for others. And third, we talked about a shared responsibility, needing a perspective from bottom to top, starting from an individual perspective, but also taking a broader perspective and look at the role of supervisors, leaders, managers, and to translate principles of job crafting to a team level. It's the level of action. It's the message of action.